What is happening? And welcome back to Titan Vans. It is a crisp 34 degrees out here right now, but keeping it fresh with the Mellies and the Arkies, staying nice and toasty, and bringing you a brand new Titan build. This is a 148 Transit, one of the first Transit build outs we've done. Been seeing lots of popularity grow on these guys, especially with the release of the new all-wheel drive option for the Transits. You can also get a Quigley 4x4 conversion on a two-wheel drive Transit. So lots of options out there to get these things upgraded for a little bit more off-road use and adventure vehicle. Without further ado, let's jump inside. So this is a Transit Classic build, modeled after the Classic. That's one of our most popular build options. Much of the same styling, the features all identical to our Sprinter Classic, but just on a Transit chassis. Right off the bat, you'll see we have some additional seating options here. So these are our captain's chairs that are available on Classic builds. Captain's chairs versus a two-person bench seat. So these mount right into our L-track in the floor, utilizing unwind seat lockers so that they can be removed. Very easy to pop in and out. Just press the release, lift up on the release mechanism. You do that on both sides, and the whole seat can be removed when not in use. You can also adjust the seat forward and back to allow for a little bit more room up front, or to be able to get in behind the seats. Right now we kind of just have them placed centrally, so you have access to both front and rear of the vehicle. So we ended up using a Evo 40 gas Webasto unit. So it is an upgraded Webasto. The 2000 STCs really struggle up at altitude, the gas model specifically. So on all of our gas Classic builds, you automatically get upgraded to that Evo 40 Webasto. So you get double the amount of heat output plus automatic altitude adjustment. So really nice upgrade for the price, and keep that thing running nice and clean for years to come. So up front, we have stock swivel seats. So these are the Ford OEM swivel. These came with the vehicle. A couple other upgrade options that came with this vehicle are the electric slide out step. Now we can do some other options if yours doesn't come with a step, but always nice to have that little bit of extra room. This guy tucks up nice and tight so you don't lose any ground clearance even when the step is deployed or stowed. All right, our lighting. So again, standard lighting options in our Classic. We have our cove lighting and our overhead lights. They extend, the cove lighting extends all the way, even through the cabinetry. So we actually designed our cabinetry to allow that lighting to kind of continue through, so you get some illumination inside your cabinets. And the controls, the dimmer switches, are all located in the same spot for the Transit Classic as our other Classic designs. So we have switches here on the B column, up in the dash, to be controlled for the driver to have easy access on the controls, and then up in the rear by the bed, which we can point out as we move around to the back. All right, let's jump right in here and check out what we got going on. All right, so in the Titan Classic, we have our Titan bi-slide bed here. This is the same bed we use in our Sprinter Classic. It is an aluminum telescoping bed platform, and here's our black kick plate. This is available in 4 different colors. We have red, blue, gray, and black, so you can kind of stylize it to your preference. Very, very simple to use. One of the most versatile beds out there, and gets you a lot of living space back really quick. So simply slide the mattress up. Another note on the mattress real quick. It is a 3-part foam mattress. It has a firm and a soft pillow topper side, and it is reversible, so you can customize the mattress to your preference depending on kind of what you like. So throw the cushion back up here. We're gonna grab the handles out of the bi-slide and then simply give it a little slide back. That easy to stow it and to deploy it. Once it is stowed back, you wanna secure this guy down. There's a couple of bed catches underneath the frame, 4 in total, 2 on the rear and 2 on the sliding rail, so you can lock it in both in the stowed position and in the fully extended position. If you want to remove the bed, it is fully removable to get all of your cargo space back. Simply release all 4 tabs, and you're going to remove the mattress, and the bed platform can be taken in and out using the handles that are built into the kick plates. Platform weighs about 60 pounds. Recommend having 1 person on either side, lift, and right out the door. So super fast, very modular. That's kind of the concept behind the Classic. All right, Transit Classic here. We have our control panel. This client opted for the upgraded air conditioning unit. So we have both a Max Air fan in the rear and an AC unit up top here. So that's the additional controller here in the control panel area. So the AC unit is remote controlled. It also has controls on the AC unit, so it gives you options in both locations. We have the remote control for the fan, and similarly, it has controls on the fan and on the remote, all identical, so you can control it in both locations. The control panel up here, we'll kind of run through these really quick, but we have our inverter controller. This is to turn the inverter off and on and to monitor your power usage. The inverter powers the air conditioning unit, the hot water heater, and if you add it, this client opted out of the galley package, but the induction cooktop that comes with the galley package. Once you've turned the inverter on, we have our breaker panel down below, and this is how you distribute power to all your different appliances. So again, the hot water heater, air conditioning, and the galley. So remember with the Classic, all of these things are pre-wired and ready to go in whenever needed. So you can upgrade whenever, pull seats out, add a galley on. The cabinetry, which we'll talk about, comes in and out. The bed comes in and out. So you can mix and match, switch up the layout for whatever the trip is, whatever your needs are. Over here, we have the Victron BMV. So this is the battery monitoring system. Gives you lots of great information. You can Bluetooth into it using the Victron Connect app. And this guy will tell you voltage, current going in and out of your battery, temperature of your battery. So with lithium ions, we do have to monitor the temperature, and we have built a whole system that monitors temperature and has heating pads that help to keep the batteries warm. Lithium ions don't like to get cold. Once they reach around freezing, they stop allowing you to charge the battery, and then if it gets even colder than that, it'll actually stop discharging. So your whole system will be dead. You still have capacity, you still have power inside those batteries. It's just not safe for it to either be charged or discharged based on the chemistry in the battery. So we have to heat those back up. So our system is designed to try and keep those as warm as possible. But if you're going to be doing a lot of cold weather camping, make sure you get that Evo 40 crank in. Keep it nice and cozy in here for both you and your battery. Speaking of the Webasto, right below it, we have the controller for it. So this is a simple rheostat control. It controls the temperature of your cabin air for the furnace. Straight up and down is about 75 degrees. All the way cranked up, it'll make it a nice toasty 95 degrees in here. So if you really don't like the cold, we got you covered. Right here, we have a couple of switches. So one is for the water pump switch. So on our new 2021 Classics, we are including a water pump switch both on the control panel. So if you're using the galley, if you opt for that, turn the water pump on and you'll have pressure at your faucet. We also are now including a water pump switch back on the back of the galley cab, so you can turn it off and on, on the back of the wheel well cab, so you can turn it off and on when using the rear spray down shower, which we'll show you when we get back to the cargo area. The second switch here is for the tank heater pad. So again, new on our 2021 models, we are now installing tank heating pads on both the freshwater tank and on the gray water tank if you choose to install it. So these are large heating pads. They don't pull a ton of current, but they do take some power to heat up. And the idea is to try and allow you to push into those kind of 4 seasons a little bit more by keeping your water system from getting too cold. So it won't prevent all your fittings from freezing. You do have to keep the vehicle warm, but it's going to help to keep, especially that gray water tank, because it is mounted up underneath the vehicle, from freezing, and it'll help you to de-thaw it if needed. So simply turn the switch on. It'll allow the heating pads to heat up. But what's nice about these pads is that they actually have a thermostat built into them. So even when you turn the power on, they won't necessarily start heating up unless the temperature drops below 40 degrees. So the gray water tank heating pad might be on, but the freshwater tank won't be unless both of those are below that 40 degrees. So nice intelligent system that really only heats what you need when you need it, and then you have ultimate control on whether they're off or on at all. All right, so that's the control panel. Let's move on to some cabinetry. The cabinetry down below here, this is one of the differences in the Transits. We actually moved the electrical system up towards the front, and that was just due to the amount of space behind the wheel well for the Transit build. So all identical componentry in our Classic build. Still have a 200 amp hour lithium ion battery, our solar charge controller, battery disconnect switch, DC distribution system, 2000 watt inverter, And then we have some upgrade options available as well, which we'll kind of dive into. In the back here is where the inverter is at. So we have our Xantrex inverter tucked in here, and you do have some additional tall storage next to the inverter. I do want to give the inverter a little bit of space since it does require cooling, but you can store stuff next to it as long as you don't obstruct the fans for ventilation. All right, on this side is all of our water system. So tucked down below, we have a 20-gallon Titan wheel well water tank. Those are available on Titan DIY. They're designed to slip right over the top of the wheel well, and they work for Sprinter, ProMaster, and Transit. So no matter what you got, it's one of the slimmest and most versatile water tanks out there, and keeps your profile of your cabinet really nice and trim, so you save the space for all the fun stuff. Additional storage here. On this side, this client opted for the hot water heater upgrade. This is a IsoTemp Slim hot water heater. It is 4 gallons. It is electric only, so it pulls about 750 watts when it's heating. Takes about an hour to heat up the 4 gallons of water. So depending on the ambient temperature of the water, it may take a little longer, might heat up a little bit faster. It runs directly off the batteries. You do not have to have the engine running. It's a completely auxiliary system to heat up this hot water heater. Now, if you are running the engine, you're going to be actually heating this water up off the alternator electricity versus your battery power. So you can save a little bit of battery capacity by simply running your engine and just planning ahead. Make sure to kick your hot water heater on as you're driving to your next campsite. So when you get there, you got some nice hot water for cooking and washing up. This client opted for our upgraded cubby cabs or shelf cabs. These are both removable. They use our star knob and single L-track puck mounts to attach to the ceiling and the wall. So you have 4 in total, 2 up top and 2 down below. This client requested that these be installed on both the driver and the passenger side, so we did 1 on each. And I think it came out really great. Still feels nice and spacious in here because the shelf cab is so much smaller than our overhead cabinet that we do above the galley. Still feels really nice and open, and even when you're laying in the bed, it doesn't feel too claustrophobic, like something you're gonna kind of like roll over or wake up in the middle of the night and hit your head on or anything. So lots of nice functional storage, stuff your sleeping bags, clothing, pillows, extra blankets, all that stuff can live up here. And just really, really simple, but does a great job to hold all your little knickknacks. Everything has little lips built into it, so nothing's going to come flying out once you kind of stuff it in there. And if you need to get them out of the way, it takes 2 seconds to pop in and out of the van and get a lot of storage space back if you need it, or if you ever wanted to add it, same thing, very easy to install. The only other cabinetry here is the wheel well water tanks. These are fixed cabinets. We kind of talked about what's inside of them, but yeah, these are, other than that, in this van in particular, is the only cabinets. Now we do have the overhead kitchen cabinet and the galley cabinet as an optional upgrade if you choose. All right, on the rear, we opted to do these rear door ladders on the Transit versus the side mount ladder. So this is a 148 Transit high roof, but the side mount ladders are not available for these guys unless you do a roof rack. So instead we opted to just keep it a little simpler, throw a rear mount ladder so it still gives you the access to the roof. Primary use of the ladder is to get up there and service your solar panels. You got to clean them pretty frequently to make sure that they're producing as much power as they can. And you might need to get up there and kind of check out your fan, clean it off, all that good stuff. So it's nice to be able to get up there, especially here in Colorado. It's snowy. So when it snows, you want to be able to get up on top, get that snow off before you get moving, and make sure you clear off those solar panels again. So let's check out the cargo area. All right, so in the back here, we got some additional storage. So we have some adjustable shelving here, a couple little mini bunks here to store all your kind of little knickknacks. On this side is the water system. So our water pump and all of our fittings are mounted up here. If you want to swing around, you can take a quick peek inside here. So we try, I'll turn on the light here, make it a little easier for you guys to see this. So we do have load lights underneath the bed, just for illuminating when kind of loading and unloading. But if you want to take a quick shot in here, See, keep all of our plumbing really simple. You have control valves for all your different appliances, hot water heater, shower, even up to the galley you can turn off and on right from this area. Also use this to store some of your water equipment, hoses, all that good stuff for filling up your system. And the water pump is tucked up right up in this upper corner here and ties right into our 20-gallon Titan water tank. All right, on the back end, standard on our Classic. So if you've seen some of our videos, this is all gonna look real familiar. We have our water fill, uses a standard garden hose attachment. When you're looking for garden hoses to keep with you, make sure you look for a lead-free one. Some of them do have some lead, so you wanna use like a potable water safe hose. So just keep that in mind when you're looking at those sorts of things. A couple of switches right here. So again, we have the water pump switch that we now also include on the rear of the cabinet to allow you to turn the water pump off and on, so you don't have to walk all the way around the side. We got some feedback that was a little annoying, so we took that to heart and added this back here to make it as functional as possible for you guys. Switch right there. We got the shower, pulls out, and a little control valve to control both the flow rate and the temperature. So the other switch right here is for our tank backlight. So we mount a light right onto our water tank, and we have a little sight cut out for the cabinetry that allows you to view your water level so you can kind of see where you're at and fill or drain if needed. So last thing down here is our control valve. So this is kind of the master water shutoff. This allows you to turn your water on, off, or drain all from a single valve here. So super clean, simple, give you access to what you need. If you need to get into this thing, it's 4 bolts. This whole plate pops right off. You can get access to all your water, all your plumbing right there. Water tank slides right out if it needs to be serviced, if something happens to it. So again, we really try and focus on serviceability for all these things, make sure it's easy to get access to them, pull them out, replace if needed. We also spec out really high quality components. So ideally, all these things are designed to last for a long time, but nothing's perfect, and when things go wrong, you want to make sure it's easy for you to get into there and get it fixed as quickly as possible. So, hey, hope you guys like this video. We got lots more coming at you, so stay tuned. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. It really helps out. We got cool products coming your way that we'll keep putting up, so stay tuned for more, and thanks for watching.